everyone. Welcome to this strategy session, which is a special strategy session for those who really want to crack part one, part two in one go, one after another. So, this session, we are going to talk about the part one exam preparation, but the more focus is on like how you can do all three parts in 1 year, or at least one after another, part one and part two in one go. So I think that all of you have taken out time to know this specific strategy. So this session should be something exciting for you all so that you have a clear framework while you finish this session. Welcome you all to this specific combo strategy session, and it's really my pleasure to have you all on this afternoon. I know you all must be having your busy day with the work and around, but still you took out time to be here, so that's great. And definitely I'll make sure that you carry a clear plan with you once you leave. So first of all, yes, I always love the interactive sessions, so I would like to keep this session as well interactive also. So I would be happy to have something in the chat box to know that yes, you all are interested. How many of you are actually looking for this type of preparation, part one and part two, and how many of you would like to prepare for part one alone? Just a quick heads up so that I can divide my session time as well. So yes, everybody in the chat box, like I would like to know if you are for part one interested. Yes, you can let me know one. If you are for both, yes, carry on with the both. Yes, two people are for the both. Yes, for both, please. Okay, so yes, good. So everybody is for the both. Yeah, that's super exciting for me as well because I also find this concept very, very exciting. And that's why we had launched this special kind of preparation. So yes, both. Okay, great. So we have everybody in favor of both. So let's start. And that's where I'm going to focus on today. But meanwhile, I'll be happy to have the interaction from you all. So please keep answering in the chat box. Keep your boxes open. Good evening, Dr. Madan Mohan Reddy. Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining in today. And let's start talking about this. So now upcoming exam is the January 2027 and the next exam is July 2027. So when I say that one after another means January 27, you can clear your part one, and July 2027 should be your part two. And November, if you do your part three, just 1 year of your life, and you get the MRCOG degree. Does it make sense to you? Is it like something seems exciting, like how this is possible? How is it possible to have like January, July, and November? How many of you knew this before that just by spending 1 year of your life, that too partly, because I'm not telling you to leave your work or stay at home. I'm going to talk about the preparation which is wind in your schedule. You don't have to leave. You have to just put in your time, which you were spending on the social media or somewhere, to divert it to this, right? So that is what I'm looking for. Yes, but want to do it in 1 year. Yes, seems challenging. Yes. So those, how many of you love challenges actually? I love challenges. So I would like to explore like how many of people love taking up challenging things. Yes, very good, very good. So yes, challenges are the part of life and we should be. And I think anybody who has come here in this medical profession, you have crossed your NEET, you have done your PGs, so you already love challenges. There is no way anybody can reach at this point without loving challenges because a lot of challenges you faced while you were on this journey. So here I welcome you to the new challenge and let's see who all can do this. So part one in January, part two in July, and one preparation. And to your utter surprise, I am not talking to the people who are sitting at home and being a student, reading all day or putting in 6, 7, 8 hours of the study. I am talking to the busiest doctors. They are the ones who should actually combine their preparation. So here we go with two different scenarios. We have two situations. First of which, you have to define to which category you belong, because I really want that you pick up the thing which is actually suitable for you. Combo is obviously not there for everyone, but you need to figure out whether you belong to the A group or the B group, and then we will talk about the two strategies which these people can follow. So, if I talk about the A group, anybody who is doing the registrar jobs or the senior registrar, junior, first, second year, third year, or who is having a full time OPD, like morning OPD, evening OPD, with some labor patients around, and 2 nights a call per week, or something like that. This is a random scenario, right? Anybody who is running full time nursing home has is a consultant, is a resident, A class. So she is sitting part one in January 2027, and she wants part two done in the same year. Can you spend 45 to 60 minutes a day? This is one question you need to ask, because 45 minutes I need for part one, something extra I need for part two, which may be minimum 15 minutes, maximum you can put it 30 minutes, 1 hour or so. I think at the current time, anybody who is in this scenario is spending 1 hour on social media. This is my presumption. I may be wrong, or you may differ in your perception, but from my side, I think if we just look at the slots like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, we are actually spending more time on the social media. And that's what I'm going to look at. So, sitting January 27, both exams in 1 year, combo was built for her or him. Now I'm coming to the B doctor. Continuous night shifts, right? No break in between with a newborn baby at home. She may be struggling with the time more. So I think 45 minutes in a day is a good time for her, because she might not really be getting a time to spend for the social media even. So for those, I think 45 minutes is a good time to take, and I would not like to put more pressure of taking more time out. But yes, everybody can look in their schedule, because the sleep is broken, the weeks are unpredictable, and she's like rebuilding herself from the ground. So, this kind of a person, I would really see that you can start for the part one alone. So, this is your combo was built for the A doctors, and for B, we are going to talk about the part one plan alone. What most candidates do. Now, what is the usual thing what people do when they start with the MRCOG? It's actually not the lack of effort, but it's a gap in your calendar. Because when you start with the part one, what do you have in your mind? Part one. Only the one exam. Okay, let me first figure out how the part one is done. And then I will think about the part two or the part three. So just wait. We always like keep on postponing the decision. For part one, also I have seen people who are in like contact with me for last 2 years, 3 years, because they are looking for a certain point when they will enter their MRCOG journey. But let me tell you, and I think you all are already experienced in your lives, there is no such time when the bell rings and tells you, okay, this is the right time to start. We all have to put a front foot and make our decision today. So, if suppose you have been postponing this for a long, then this is the right time to start for January. This is not delayed, this is not overwhelming. This is the right time to start, and I'll tell you how the journey will go from here till January in 45 minutes to 1 hour a day. Now, here I am concentrating on how usually the people look at a MRCOG. So they first think about, now I have to appear in January 2027, and then they have no vision about the later parts. Once they finish part one, then they will start thinking about the part two. So part one only, part two is problem for later. Then person will sit in January 2027, part one, and then keep waiting for the results. By the March, no, it is usually the February mid or February last week, you will receive your result. Till February, you have received your result. Now, the July initial, like exam happens in first 2, 3, 4 days of the July. So I won't count July. It is only up to the June. So March, April, May, June. Now the question comes as, Madam, is 4 months enough to pass the exam? How many hours I have to spend here? Now starts having the dilemma, right? Now they start having that kind of a dilemma, whether this is good opportunity to take the exam at this moment or not. Now, let me tell you from here what are the two paths. Either the person will take that, and yes, with guidance, 4 months, it is possible. It is possible. But you have to be very consistent and you cannot miss any day study. You have to religiously follow the schedule. Second thing is like usually what most of the candidates do now, because 1 month they have not studied because they left studying in the January when the exam was over. Then up to February, they were waiting for the result. So whatever momentum they have gained while doing for part one, that just comes down. And now they have to start their curve from the zero, go to the top. So that takes the time and that creates the panic. I am lagging behind, I'm lagging behind. And I've seen many of students, they like if 10 students start like this, 3 reach their destination, 7 leave the way out. Why? Because the panic starts building. So very few candidates can cover the entire part 2 syllabus in 4 months from the cold start while working. So the July sitting is deferred to January 2028. A year that was never budgeted for quietly disappears. You never thought of it, but you don't know how it just disappeared, how just it got added to your MRCOG preparation. The year is not lost in the exam hall, it is lost in waiting, which was actually in our hands. It was nothing which was not in our hands. Only thing is, we took our decision late and we did not plan for it. So instead, do not prepare part one alone, prepare both from day one. The 3 reasons I'll let you know which one works for you. You can pick it up and give me the feedback. That's it. Discounts, I will not talk about. That's the last thing to be put up. Yes, there is some discount when you take the combo, but that is not the value thing, which I would like to highlight here. For me, the most important thing and the most precious thing in the doctor's life is the time. That is why I will always talk about the time, time, and time. I would like to save your time because you can use that time in your clinical practice to build up anything. So I'm going to talk about the reasons for starting a combo and how does this helps. So reason one, part two is your own subject, OBS and gynae. You are a gynecologist. Part two is an exam that sounds like your working day. Whatever you are just seeing day in and day out. So part one is the basic sciences, anatomy, biochemistry, embryology, statistics, biophysics. Subjects you last opened years ago, heavy going to the end of a long list. So right, you feel like, okay, I have to go back to this, and your clinical work is obstetrics and gynae. The cases you saw in the OPD this morning, it reads easily because you already live it every day. Which means, like if you are not just sliding into the study, then a 10-12 minute video, because we have bite-sized videos. This is a very peculiar feature of our course. Bite-sized 10-12 minutes videos which just go into your schedule.
Give it to Mama Ladan.
Your extra time for that, it is for like, you can watch them while you are taking your tea break, while you are taking your lunch break, while you are commuting. So we don't need any extra time for theory watching, right? So you can just watch a 10-12 minutes video, and that is the easiest thing to watch even after your tired day, not one more burden on a tired brain. It is something that you would love to do that, right? So part two does not cost you willpower, it gives some back. It actually gives you some perspective which works in your day-to-day practice as well. So even like you have finished your day and just like you're watching the reels or something, you can watch some video of the part two, which helps you. Now, this is one thing. So it actually incites that trigger so that you can go back to your studies and makes it more easier as compared to other subjects. Now coming to what is the next best thing where it can work good for part one also. Same topic, one step up is part two. See, there are clinical subjects in the part one as well. And
عمر أي كان اشتغلتي لايف على شيء
Dr. Noor, can you
بس هنا
Okay. So basically, So I was talking about the clinical subjects. The clinical subjects, when I say the clinical management, data interpretation, that is what? Clinical management is like they give you a scenario and you have to think about what are the management options. What is data interpretation in part one? They give you the investigations and you need to decipher those investigations, coming to the point, what is the final diagnosis here? So if you look at these two things, what is this? This is your clinical judgment, and you have to do this judgment on the basis of RCOG guidelines. So if you have to judge this on the basis of RCOG guidelines, means you have to have some knowledge of the guidelines. So we are already going to give you the perspective from the RCOG guidelines. So what you have to do in the part 2? The guideline in detail. So you are reading a harder version of the part 1 scenario in part 2. So like if I am going to teach you today ovarian cyst and you have already watched the video of part 2, do you think you need that simpler video? No. You already have that complexity in your mind, so you can easily solve that simple. The simple becomes more simple. So you have a complete perspective. Why this is done, why this is important. Like to give you an example, if I am teaching you about the CSF flow, you would be thinking, okay, why in gynae they are talking about the CSF flow? But when I take up headache in pregnancy in benign intracranial hypertension, oh, this was the point. Why the CSF? Okay, so that means they are going to ask about what investigation we need to measure the flow. So exactly like it can align, it gives you the clear picture further in the view, like what is the importance, and that makes the answer quite sensible. So course of ureter in part 1, and then we talk about what are the 3 points for the ureteric injury. BP and cardiac output we talk about here, and then we talk about the preeclampsia help in part 1 as well as in part 2. Pharmacology of uterotonics, and then PPH management is already a part of part 1. In part 1, maybe we talk about the call for help and the prophylaxis, but part 2, we talk about the therapeutics. So like this, you can have a one step forward knowledge, and that is actually going to help you in the part 1 as well. And it runs backwards too. Once you have seen the complex part 2 version, the simpler part 1 question stops being difficult. For you, nothing is difficult. Threading part 2 in does not dilute your part 1. It lifts up. So you are not adding a subject, you are seeing the same subject from higher up to get the more clarity. So reason 3, where you stand on the exam day, by the time you sit part 1, the most of the part 2 is already behind you. So part 1 syllabus is 100% covered, but part 2 is also 60-70% covered. This is the beauty of this thing, like 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you were spending consistently on your syllabus, which has helped you in part 1 as well, is actually building a foundation for your part 2 journey. So January to July is not for a new content. You have already read that content, and now you are going to focus more on the questions, recalls, and the timed mocks, that work that actually earns marks. So your foundation is already built. Now you have to build a 7-story on it. You have adequate time for that. Now you don't come and ask me, madam, is the 4 months enough? You already have the answer to it. Most candidates begin those 4 months at 0%. You would begin them at 70%. Same 4 months, a completely different starting line makes an absolute difference in your final day result. So what does it actually cost you? See, when you take up a part 1 and part 2, like these are kind of 2 books in your library. It is not that every day you have to pick up 2 books. But yes, part 1 book, you are going with the schedule of the course. Whenever you feel like, you can pick up part 2 book as well and finish up some things. Minutes a day, not hours. And the calendar decides the number, not the course. So 45 minutes, if you have only 45 minutes in a day, go for part 1 alone. Start now, till January, you will have 3 revisions. Even in 45 minutes a day, you will have 3 revisions. Last 15 days may be more intense because that will be like your quick revision, but other days, 45 minutes to 1 hour, just go with the part 1 alone. If you can thread 15-20 minutes for your part 2, then this is the time where you can start for part 2 as well. And actually, if you start now, then only it has a value. Because if you start later, suppose if you start in October or September or later, the later you go, the hours climb. Because you are already, your part 1 work is getting piled up. Because then 45 minutes barrier also for the part 1 is broken. Because your work from here is getting piled up there. So it is adding up. So then this time calculation does not work. The later you start, this time calculation does not work. So basically, if you are thinking about starting, then this is the right time to follow this timeline. And that is the way it is going to happen. So 60 minutes, say 60 to 70 minutes, 75 minutes if you have, this is a good thing to start part 1 plus part 2 threaded in it. Starting now for January and July, the whole of the part 2 costs you 15 to 30 extra minutes. But if you are starting for part 1 alone, starting late, like if you are thinking about like after I book the exam, then I will study. Like usually the bookings happen in October end. So you are planning to study from November, December. Part 1 is possible. Yes, very much possible, but you can see the time difference here. So, and secondly, right now, if you are starting, like if you are studying 5 to 6 days in a week, good enough. But if you are starting from the November and you want to skip any day, then it is going to cost you. So it should not be there. So 45 minutes is not a property of the course. It is the property of the calendar. You have to be consistent. What our course does is to help you merge in your schedule. And because you have only snippets of time in your schedule, so the whole thing is planned around those snippets of time. And that is why daily small consistent effort is going to build up or fill up that vessel. That is going to happen here. How to thread it without adding hours? 4 steps. The same evening you were already going to spend. Study your part 1 topic. Watch the video and answer the questions on paper. Exactly as you already do. So what is like, this is not something which many of you might be familiar, like how the course runs. For every subject, we have divided that into the number of topics, small topics. For every topic, there has to be some video content, like 10 minutes video, 12 minutes video. And then with that, the worksheet is there. So you have to watch that video and do the questions. So every day, like if I say 45 minutes, 15, 20 minutes will be the video and some time for the questions. Or maybe if it is like one day, 30-45 minutes of the video content, like 10 minutes videos are there, and then next day you have a worksheet. So like this is divided. So you will have to watch the questions and watch the videos and do the questions. In between, we do live sessions as well. Like once a week live session is there, which starts at 8:30 p.m. India time and finishes by 9:30. Recording is uploaded next day. So overall, that also come to you in the video format only. So the whole thing is about watching the videos and solving the questions. And what about notes making? No notes making. Because we have already given you something which you are studying in 1.5 years, and now you are going to study that topic in 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. So where is note making? There is no note making. It's a sheer wastage of time. We are already giving you everything very concise. Secondly, you are not going to carry your paper notes in the exam. You are going to carry your brain with you. So we focus on putting things in your brain, not on the paper. So how do we do that? When you are answering the questions, keep a paper pen aside. And when you are choosing any option, please write down on the paper why you are choosing that option. And once you start writing, this is known as an active learning technique. To write something on the paper, you need to be very clear. And once you are clear, then you can put up these points. And now these are the points which are repeatedly asked in exams. These are your notes. So practice active learning. This is what we help you do. And that is why we do not believe in putting things in the paper, but putting things in your brain. Now, once you have done this part 1 task, like I have given you a 45 minutes task, this you have to do at your own time. You can take out 15 minutes in the morning, 15 in the afternoon, 15 in the night, or whatever way it is comfortable. Once you have done this, open the matching part 2 bite. 10 to 12 minutes. Just watch it. No notes, no pressure, no revision. Right? 10 to 12 minutes bite, just watch it. No notes, no pressure, no revision, no nothing. Just watch it as if you watch a webinar for your own knowledge sake, right? Now notice the link. So why is there a urethra? The click is the entire point of the exercise. Now try to watch those videos which are related to your that subject so that you have a clear overview of it and move on. You are not studying for part 2 yet. You are only planting the seeds. So July is not the cold start. So this small effort a day is also going to add up. So you are watching part 2, not studying it twice, and that is why it costs minutes and not hours. And how the part 1 course actually runs, I've already explained you a bit about what is going to be your day-to-day task. So 3 passes over the syllabus, reverse engineered from the January. So first 3 months will be the full syllabus, all subject properly done in detail with the 10 to 12 minute bite-sized videos and questions answered the same day. So this is full syllabus and you are added in a community group where you can always ask your queries and we are there to sort it out 24/7. Now next 2 months is November and December is going to be for the revision and recalls along with revisiting all the subjects. So this is a second time revision for your all subjects and here the subject wise recalls and the past papers from 2015 till date with timed mocks running alongside. So pace is built in early. And here we are not only teaching you the important points or making you revise, but we are focusing on the time management exercise as well. Because in exam, there are going to be 100 questions and the time you have for the questions is 150 minutes. So you are not having even 2 minutes for one particular question. So time management is very important and that is what is fixed in this last 2 months as well. Final 15 days is the SBA sprint, continuous marathon of the SBA going on with 3 grand mocks. 3 grand mocks means exactly paper 1 and paper 2 like practice so that when you go to the exam, you find it as one of the mock and not a new exam. Combo students go further. The same 3 pass structure repeats for part 2 also. So usually within after the part 1, this is over, we usually start after 10, within 10-12 days, we start the next batch for the part 2. So you are already on the track. Just with the same momentum, just enter. Because you are already like today when you are starting, you are somewhere near to 0 to 10. And by the time you have the exam, your momentum has risen. Now, if I let you just sit down, you will go like this and take a 1 or 2 days rest and just slide into the part 2. So you are carrying the same momentum. You don't have to build like others from here to here. So with the same momentum, just enter the part 2 and just run there and do it. So the same 3 past structure repeats for part 2, closing with the EMQ workshop and its own grand mocks before July. So every subject, every module is seen 3 times before you walk into the exam. And that is where the pass rate comes from. Because one reading, you know what is the concept, right? What this actually means. Second reading, you actually see, oh, this is the meaning of it, right? Part 3, oh, that was the hidden meaning here, right? So this is the 3 passes which you will come to know, and that is where the pass rate comes from. What sits in your account from the day 1? Both courses. It is not that like when you are going with a combo, you will have part 1 today and part 2 later. That does not make a difference. That is only done by the courses who offer you the discounts. But this is not about the discount. This is about the values. MRCOG courses is something about adding the values and making their students' life easier by spending less time on the study and getting more marks. So both courses open together, not one unlocked after the another. Bite-sized videos, every topic in 10 to 12 minutes, built for gap between the OPT patients. Topic-wise questions mapped to the video. Now, this is also a very beautiful feature because if I say like you have an anatomy questions, okay? But in your anterior abdominal wall questions, you are getting very good marks. In your perineum questions, you are getting less marks. Now, every time you go and do the questions, you have to do all the questions again. But here the questions are topic wise. So if your perineum is poor, you can go and work on the perineum. So you are working on the micro niches. You know exactly where to focus on. So this is kind of a performance tracker for you. You can track your performance in the topics. So map to the video you just watched, answer on the paper with real reasoning and active recall. And you don't always feel like I don't remember anything. You just wrote on the paper from your mind. So that gives you a lot of confidence. Live sessions, every subjective interactive with recordings if you are on duty. Recalls and papers, subject wise, past papers from 2015 till date. Nothing is a surprise. You have solved all those, and we discuss in live sessions. Why? Because sometimes the concept asked in the question is same, but the question does not seem to be same. The concept is same. So you need to know the story behind that concept, and that's what we bring here. 3 grand mocks, paper 1 and paper 2, sat to the exam timing before the real thing. That is how when you go to exam, you feel like, oh, this is the same thing I was doing. Final revision, the sprint, SBS sprint for part 1, EMQ workshop, so everything included. Once you are with us, your whole journey till the pass is included with us. Pass in 70% less study time because most of the candidates read never reaches the paper. If some people who just keep on thinking, let me first finish the syllabus and then I will fill the form. And I've seen them like they just keep on carrying year over year. Because this is what you start from first guideline, you go to 200 guideline, and you have forgotten the initial ones. Then once you start reading here, you forgot the last ones. So this becomes a vicious trap. Every time you think that I'm going to start from the very beginning and going to read all, but this trap needs to be broken. Otherwise, year after year, the things just keep on postponing. And the one thing which you were supposed to get in 1 year is actually getting linger on. So one route, 3 steps, each one lands you higher than the last, and you start climbing today. You start here, part 1, January 2027, 70% of the part 2 already behind you. July 2027, part 2 questions and mocks, not new content. And the part 3, we carry your part 2 course into part 3 when you join us for part 3 as well. Because if in part 2, I am saying do not read the guidelines and watch the videos, then in part 3, you can just go back and revise those videos. As I said, we at MRCOG courses always try to add value to your preparation. So this is the added value for your part 3 preparation for you being loyal to us. The combo was never 2 courses built together. It is not about 2 courses just built together. It is one climb, and you are already on the first step. So if you are now planning the first step, you can actually look at both the perspectives, take a time to think over it, and then take the decision. You are not racing a clock. Access runs until you pass, because sometimes the things come like, okay, if I take the combo now and I don't appear in the next July, what happens? It is access till pass, right? So it is not fixed by the number of months, no expiry date. Your access does not end in 6 months or 12, it ends when you pass. Life can happen, a posting changes, a sitting is deferred, a baby arrives, the course waits for you. Updates included, and it is not that whatever you bought is going to stay, all updates you get. So new recalls, revised guidelines, fresh mocks appear in your account. So the honest question is not, can I finish it in time? It is, when do I want to start? Nobody has ever been penalized here for taking longer, only for starting later. If you're starting later, you lose the opportunity of getting this benefit. This is one of the beautiful review. I think one of like the people like you who have gone through this journey with the combo, and I won't play more of the testimonials here, but I think this one will resonate with majority of you. So I'm just going to share this one testimonial with you.
Hello everyone, myself Dr. Swati Jain. I recently passed my Part 1 MRCOG examination with 82%, and I completely owe my success to Dr. Bhawna Khera ma'am, because when this thought crossed me that I have to go for MRCOG, and then as usual I checked various platforms, how should I prepare, what are the materials which I should use, or what platforms for mentoring I should use. I went through her videos and I was immediately convinced with her very crisp, clear and very sturdy voice which she delivers in her lectures, because those were very sweet and short and to the point lectures. So I immediately actually got I got very instant connection with her, because with so many people around in this field, actually in mentoring, I knew that I want some Indian, because they can understand only the situation we work, what kind of difficulties we face in our personal and professional life in this age. And also because actually when I talked to her, this was my question whether I should do it or not, because I was mother of a small kid, and then we are having our nursing home to run, and it is quite a task for me to get fit into these two roles. And now I am thinking of doing MRCOG exams, so whether I should do it or not. And it was no surprise to learn that she said ki, yes, this is the first question everybody asks. And she said ki, yeah, that's why I have designed this course, so that you can reduce your preparation time by 70%, and then you can get success 100%. And I was very relieved to know that I got the right kind of mentor. Then I purchased her combo pack, and I must say, whosoever want to pursue the MRCOG examination, they must opt for the combo pack, because means for part 1 as well as part 2. First of all, it makes the proper foundation and you get the proper overview of the whole examination, part 1 as well as part 2. By the time you clear your part 1, you already have the complete idea of part 2 examination toughness. And third thing, it's economical also. So I chose that, and I prefer everybody to take that. And so many things, they were very good. Like, first thing, I liked her very cool and calm nature. So if your mentor is cool, if your mentor constantly shows that he believes or she believes in you, then you also get very confident in such kind of scenarios, because it's quite a task to study in this constant motivator. The subjects which are asked in part 1 were anatomy, biochemistry, physiology. Oh my god, those used to be scary back then, and now again we have to start from there. That thought was also very scary. And but madam, in her usual easy ways, she used to start the lecture. You think it's hard? No, it's not, it's easy. And that psychological pampering of your mind actually immediately gives you the momentum to study. And then at the end of the lecture, you really start thinking, yes, it is easy. So like that, only every difficult topic, every difficult subject, actually she makes them very easy.
So
Hello
basically, now
everyone,
she have
myself.
cleared her part 2 as well with us, and in July 2026, and now she is our part 3 student. So I think this is the journey you can also, like, she is January 2026 part 1, July 2026 part 2, and now it is part 3 on the way. So, and yes, together it costs less as well. So as you can see, if you add up the two courses, it is 85,999, but if you get a combo course, it is 75,999. But as I said, I will not say this is one reason for which you need to buy the course. Because if the saving were the real reason to do this, I would not have spent last half hour on the other reasons. Take the combo for the year, it saves you. Treat the price as a footnote, because it is most precious is your time. It is saving your time. It is bringing you the degree faster. That is which is basically the main benefit. Value first. The discount is an add-on and never an argument for us. Does it really work? The numbers we are willing to stand behind. Part 1 almost close to 100%, 90% part 2, 3,500 plus doctors taught and 38 plus countries against a global pass to pass rate of 40%. Almost none of them were top students. I won't, like, if you are thinking, oh, they must be encyclopedias. No, they were consultants, they were registrars with the full shifts, small children, night duties, who protected some time of the day and did not stop. Consistent effort is must. This was never about intelligence, it was strategy and consistency. So if you want to talk to us before you start, 15 minutes, you can contact us on WhatsApp or simply call us in on these numbers. Or if you are ready to start, then these are the QR codes. So you can save the screenshot and start with us with this specific plan around. And if you are still wanting for any specific meeting, then you can scan this code and book a meeting with me directly as well. Or you can reach out to our team and they will arrange the meeting or enrollment, whatever you are looking for. Now it's time for your questions. So your questions are welcome. And I would also like to hear a feedback from you. Like, what do you think with this kind of a scenario? Do you think it is possible or not? Yes. Now it's time for you all. What like would you like to say? Yes. Now all those who wanted to do it with in both together, what is your perspective? I would like to hear that. Do you think, is it possible? Is it not possible? Something which aligns with you, something which does not align with you? What do you want to say? Or if you have any new questions, you are most welcome. Yes. Is everybody sleeping on the other side or awake? At least we can have the yes or no for the sleep and awake. Yes. Okay. Yes. Do you have any candidates who has finished in 3 in 1 go? Yes. Not one, many. I would have put that as well. Yes. This was very informative. Thank you. Yes. If you drop your phone number, because I can see iPhone, I cannot see your name as well. So if you can drop, we can share you that testimonials as well for that as well, who have done all 3 parts in one go. I myself have done all 3 parts in one go, and many of my students have done that. Okay, so it's good to have your number around. I will just see that and will definitely share your number. Would you like to share your name as well? Okay. So we'll definitely share you those testimonials. If anybody else want to see more testimonials, you can drop us the number and we'll be happy to share you the testimonials as well. And you can just simply text us on these numbers as well for the testimonial, and we'll be happy to help you out. Hi, ma'am. Can we give exams and study even during the first year of residency with little clinical exposure? Yes. Part 1 and part 2 is possible. For part 3, you need the 4 year of experience, so you can do your part 3 later. Dr. Neetu, yes, we have noted your number and we will certainly be sending you same. And also we register for part 1 and part 2. And are there any issues in booking exams? No, there is no issue, Dr. Mamta. Okay, great. So there are no issues in booking exams basically. You usually have centers in all the B class or the A class cities across India. Only thing is like sometimes you may need to book a center outside your city. That's it, nothing much. For part 1 and part 2, there is no issues in the exam booking. You usually get the seats unless and until you are deferring for the last day. And that's it. So yes, that's good. Good, lovely questions. More interaction, waiting for more interaction. Yes. So we are going to send to Dr. Mamta and Dr. Neetu more testimonials. Yes. Will you guide us with the booking the exams? Yes. Team helps you in applying eligibility, expression of interest, and booking everything. We will help you out. Definitely. Anything else? Okay. Yes. What more questions? Or any new information you would like to have around? What are the benefits of clearing MRCOG? That's a pretty good question, basically. Okay, so benefits of clearing the MRCOG, and the other question is, will the team be with us throughout the journey or it's time limited? No, it is throughout your journey. Once you pass part 1 and part 2, you will definitely be going with part 3 and we'll take you from here till you get the degree. Okay, so you don't have to bother about it. And what are the benefits of clearing MRCOG? I'm coming to this question. So basically that it depends on what is your scenario, whether you want to move abroad or you want to stay in the India. So I'm going to take both the perspectives. And if you want me to talk about one particular perspective, you can let me know. So for abroad, UK is definitely open. Middle East prefers you. You can go to Australia and New Zealand as well. There also it is preferred. And some states of the Canada also directly take these. Now, the other thing is like in India. What is in India? And even like if you want to go to Singapore and all, then also MRCOG is a good opportunity. Now, coming to the India, if you are staying in India, then one thing is like if you are looking for immediate financial benefits, then corporate jobs, they you as comparison to others, they will take them you as priority, and they also give you extra money, extra finances for this, salaries for being with the international degrees. Second thing is definitely putting up the international degree helps you in your practice as well, builds trust among your patients and regarding your charges. Third thing is like, which I would say for me is the most important point, it's transformative journey for you. You will be a very different clinician and a very different counselor when you come in front of the patient, and which actually keeps on paying in a like recurring way throughout your career, right? So, Dr. Matan Mohan, yes, will the team be with us throughout the journey or it's limited time? No, it will be throughout. No worries. We will take care of from you from the first day till you achieve your degree. Can we pay in installments? For this, you need to text to the team. You can just be in touch with the team. Here are the WhatsApp number and the call numbers. Just text to them and certainly they will see and help you according to your scenario. Right? So that is there. Yes. Good. Good interactive audience. I love that. You can ask more questions as well. I'm here to answer your all questions. And see, no doubt is silly. Please be know this point very clearly. There is no silly doubt. Even if like anything which comes to your mind is an important question, right? Because today that question is yours. Sometimes then that question may be others. Will you be accessible to us? Yes. I mean, you will have to be in touch with the team and just tell them to fix an appointment or the meeting, and that's how the things are done. Yes. And you will find me in live session as well as in the community. Whom do we connect if you have any queries? So it is like for you, when you join us, you have a website account or the app. Both are there. Like you can access your material from the app or the website. And secondly, you are added to one community. In the community, you can always post your questions and tag us, and we are there to answer 24/7. So you don't have to wait to fix up a meeting to me to answer your queries. We are around there to answer your queries. And all the live sessions are interactive. You can bring their questions there, you can bring their doubts, and we'll be there to answer in the live session as well. Any in person to make a call and ask? Yes. Yes, you can just call on these numbers. Just keep these numbers, screenshot, and it's good enough. Will this help in other exams as well? Let's say when we give university exam or the competitive exam, it is completely different. No, it helps. It helps in building up your basic gynae knowledge. But yes, for our MD exams, you also need to know the FOXY guidelines. If you are in India, FOXY guidelines and the WHO as well. And if it comes to the competitive exam, it pretty well goes good. Like if you are later planning about the INSET or the FET or all those, then this is going to definitely help you for the super specializations. Definitely, this is a knowledge base for your obs and gynae and makes a lot of difference. Okay, good. Yes, any more questions? Any more questions? When does the course start? Okay, so part 1 course started on 6th August. We have done 2 live sessions, and the next live session is on, I think, day after tomorrow. It is on Friday. Friday, we have a next live session. So if you join before that, you will not miss that. The last 2 live sessions which have happened, you will get the recordings. And second thing is, as I already told you, we do this course 2 times, 3 times, right? So you will again get the opportunity to do those 2 subjects with us in the November. But still, I would say that you have the recordings, you spend 10-15 minutes extra and finish those. But the upcoming live session is on like Friday. So I would suggest that if at all you are planning, try to be regular from here. Live sessions are just 1 hour, 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. India time, and recordings are uploaded next day. Okay, yes, good, good. Yes. Any more questions? Any more question? Anything else all of you are looking for? I think I can see the familiar names around. whom I have already been talking to and we are in touch, but still they had some queries. So this is the right time to ask your queries. Looking forward for a successful journey. Yes, Dr. Mamta. We always wish all our candidates they have a great successful journey, and that's what we make it possible too. Yes, so yeah, it's a great time to ask the questions, right? This is a good opportunity. We still have few minutes to go. So you can still come up with your questions. Don't carry questions back. Okay. So yes, good. Okay. So if there are no questions, can we just finish this? Last 2 minutes, we'll have mock question practice. Yes, plenty of mock test. Subject wise, grand mocks everywhere. And from the very first day when you solve the worksheets, you get marks. With every marks, you know which topic you are good at, which topic you are bad. Then first topic wise, these things are there. Then subject wise are there. And then finally it is like mixed paper 1 and paper 2. So you have all kind of these things. And everything included in the one course only, right? You don't have to buy like other courses like go for fast track, go for this or that. It is not like that. Once you are with us, you have everything you need to pass that particular part. Okay. Do we have notes for all the videos or should we note things down? As I said, noting the videos is what just creating the pile of papers, which we do not prefer. Second thing is videos are so concise, 10 minutes video. Whenever you have to go back and revise, you can easily watch it. We do give you the PDF access in the online link below it. But the main purpose is to promote the active recall, not to give you a further pile of notes, which is already existing on the social media in a lot way. Okay. So making things more palatable, which can go into your routine. For reading the notes, making the notes, you will have to sit, take out time and do, which is not the purpose. And I think you already in your residency do not have a time. Okay. Yes. Good interaction. Good audience. Thank you for being so much interactive and a good audience today. And I really enjoyed talking to all of you. Would love to hear from you across. Whenever you find any doubts, you can get back to our team and clarify your doubts as well. So for now, shall we finish? Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice evening ahead.